Good morning, everyone! Kindly arrange your chairs and pick up some pieces of papers under your tables and chairs. Okay, so you may now take your seats. So let's check your attendance first. Say present if your name is called. John, Jenny, Katrina, Jamali. Good job! The attendance is complete. So it simply means that you are all present this morning. So, before we begin our discussion this morning, let's have a game first. So the game is called Place of Values, Where Do I Belong? Are you familiar with that game? No? Okay, so just stay still. I'll be sharing with you the instruction. So the instruction is, place the word according to its proper position in the place of values. Tagaan ta mo words and then, inyo siyang ibutang sa exact place kung asa to siya na belong sa place of values. Do you get it? Okay, so whoever raises his or her hand first will be the one to answer. Okay, so the first word is once. Yes, Jessa? Very good. Next word is tens. Yes, John? Okay, very good. So the third word is hundreds. Yes, Monique? Wow, very good. So how about the word tens? Yes, Christopher? Awesome. So the next word is hundreds. Yes, Janella? Very good. So the last word is thousands. Yes, Girly? Very good. Remember that the digits to the left of the decimal point represents whole number, while the digits to the right of the decimal point represents part of a whole. So now, na na-recall na nato ang place of values, let's proceed to our main topic, which is changing decimals to fractions and vice versa. So, kabalo po mo unsay vice versa? Wala. Okay, so vice versa is a formal way of saying the other way around. So, pasapot, changing decimals to fraction and fractions to decimals. So our objectives for today are, first, rename the decimal numbers to fractions and fraction to decimals. Second, solve problems involving changing decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals. Mura na ato ang objectives for today. Gamay ra og simple. So before I proceed to the discussion, I want to leave a reminder. My reminder is, maminaw sa discussion so that ma-achieve nato atong goal for this day together. So pasapot kita tanan. So do you get it, children? Awesome. Okay, so are you ready? Great, so let's start. Let's begin in renaming decimals to fraction. So we have here an example, 0.4. So we are going to express 0.4 into a fraction. So let's begin with step 1. Write the digits in the decimal as the numerator. So in here, 4 is the digit in the decimal. So we're going to make it as our numerator. After that, let's proceed to step 2. Write as many zeros after 1 in the denominator as there were decimal places, digits to the right of the decimal point in the decimal number. So after putting 1, so since there is only one digit in the right of the decimal point, so we're just going to add 1 0. So we have now the answer 4 tenths or 4 over 10. So since we can still reduce it to its lowest form, so we are going to proceed to number 3, which is reduce the fraction to its lowest form. All we have to do is to find the GCF. So 2 is our GCF, and we're going to divide it to both our numerator and denominator. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So therefore, 2/5 is our lowest term, and 2/5 is the fraction form of 4 tenths. Okay, so let's have another example, 0.75 or 75 hundredths. So step 1, write the digits in the decimal as the numerator. So 75 is our numerator. And step 2, After 1, write as many zeros in the denominator as there were decimal places or digits to the right of the decimal point in the decimal number. So there are 2 digits to 7 and 5, so we're going to add 2 zeros. So 7500ths can be expressed into its lowest form, so we're going to proceed to step 3, reduce the fraction to its lowest form. So all we have to do is to find the GCF. 25 is our GCF since it's the only biggest number that can divide 75 and 100. So 75 divided by 25 is 3 and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So therefore, this is the simplest form or the lowest form of 0.75 or 7500ths. Okay, so let's proceed to changing fraction form into decimal form. So to express a fraction into decimal, simply divide the numerator by the denominator. So we're going to use the long division method. Let's express this fraction 4 over 5 into decimal. So what we're going to do is to divide the numerator to the denominator. So 4 divided by 5. So 4 divided by 5 is going to be, so we're going to put 0 here and add a decimal point. We then put 0 here, add 0. So this becomes 40. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So 8 times 5 is 40. So 40 minus 40 is equal to 0. So the decimal form of the fraction 4 over 5 is 0.8 or 8 tenths. Okay, so 0.8 is called terminating decimal because the final remainder is 0 and the division ends. So let's have another example. 1/4. So we're going to divide the numerator to the denominator. So 1 divided by 4. So since it cannot be, so we're going to put 0 and decimal point, add a 0, so it becomes 10. So 10 divided by 4 is 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. So the answer is 2. So since napatay na bilin na remainder, which is 2, we need to add 0 again. Then bring it down. So this becomes 20. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. So 5 times 4, 20. And minus 20 minus 20 is 0. The division ends and it ends with 0. Therefore, 0.25 or 2500ths is considered as a terminating decimal. Okay, so let's have last example. 1 divided by 3. So it's 0. Then we're going to add 0. So 10 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Equals to 1. So since napaman siya remainder, we need to add again 0. So bring down, becomes 10. So 10 divided by 3, 3 again, 3, 9, minus, so it becomes 1 again. And this is an example of a repeating decimal. Therefore, this digit here will continue without end. And the decimal 0.33 is considered as a repeating decimal. Do you get it? Very good. Okay, so now to test your understanding with regard to our discussion, let's see if you can rename decimal numbers to fractions and vice versa. So you'll be given 15 minutes to answer and your timer starts now. Okay, so let's check number 1. Write 0.7 in fraction. So 0.7. This as our numerator. And let's, okay, so we're going to put 1. And how many zeros we are going to add? Yes, very good. Only 1 because there is only 1 digit in the decimal. So the answer for number 1 is 7/10 or 7/10. Okay, so now let's check number 2. Write 0.30 or 30 hundredths in fraction. So 0.30. So 30 will become our numerator over, let's put 1. How many digits in the decimal? Very good, 2. So we're going to add 2 0. So here is the answer, 30 over 100 or 30 hundredths. So we can still simplify this. So we're going to simplify. The GCF of 30 and 100 is 10. So therefore, the answer is 3/10. So here is the simplest form of the decimal 0.3. Okay, so now let's proceed to number 3. 82. Write 82 hundredths in decimal number. So 82 over 100 into decimal. So we're just going to divide the numerator to its denominator. So since it cannot be, so we're going to write 0 and then add decimal and add 0. So 820 divided by 100 is 8. And 8 times 100 is 800. So we have 20. So subtract 20. So since there is still a remainder and it cannot be, we need to add 0 again and bring it down. So 200 divided by 100 is 2, and 2 times 100 is equal to 200. So the answer is 0. So therefore, the decimal form of 82 hundredths is 0.82. Okay, so the last number 4, 1. So 1 divided by 50. Since it cannot be, so 0, decimal, add 0. 10 divided by 50, 0 cannot be, so add 0. Don't forget the decimal, so 0, so let's add another 0 again. So 100 divided by 50 is 2, very good. And 2 times 50 is 100, so the answer 0. So therefore, the decimal form of 1 over 50 is 0.02 or 2 hundredths. Okay, so that's it. That's how simple changing decimals to fractions and vice versa. So is it easy? So of course it's so easy if you're just going to pay attention to the discussion and follow the simple steps. So that's it. I hope you learned something today. So for your assignment, kindly copy the problems written on the board. So that's it. I'm glad to be here with you guys. Thank you for listening and I hope you learned something today. So keep smiling, God bless, and goodbye everyone!